All right, guys, welcome. We will get started today on our backs. We'll actually put the soles of our feet together, open the knees wide, and lay on back into reclined butterfly. So as you lay here, you can put your hands on your stomach. You can place your hands on your thighs. You can open your palms up to the sky, lay them beside you. If you like, you can even reach your arms up above your head if you kind of want a little bit of stretch kind of in your shoulders here. And just sit here. We'll be here for a couple minutes, so just get used to your breath and relax before we start our practice today. So as you lay here, focus on your breath and your breathing. Trying to equal out your inhales and exhales. Breathing in and out through your nose. Feeling your body relax. And as you inhale, feeling the breath come through your chest cavity, through your lungs, filling your stomach. And as you exhale, feeling everything release. And we'll take a few collective breaths together before we start our practice today. So inhaling through the nose, filling up your chest, filling your lungs, filling all the way into your belly. Hold it and open your mouth, exhale, release. And we'll do that again. Inhaling, filling up your lungs, your chest, feeling everything fill with the air. Holding it, and exhale, releasing that breath. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose. Bring your breathing back to normal. Equaling out the breath. And you always have your breath to come back to in the practice. So whenever you're in a pose, coming back to your breath. And placing your hands on your thighs, closing your knees back together. You can hug your knees into your chest here. Give yourself a hug. You can rock side to side, rock forward and back. Release any tension in your spine. And when you're ready, rocking and rolling, or however you need to get there today, whether coming to a seated position, and coming to tabletop. So in our tabletop position, making sure your hands are underneath your shoulders, your gaze is forward at the top of the mat, your knees are underneath your hips. From here, we'll take a couple cat-cows just to warm up the spine. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. And exhale, rounding the spine. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. And exhale, rounding the spine. And our last one together. Inhale, dropping the belly, lifting your gaze. Opening the chest. Exhale, rounding the spine. Now take a few more at your own pace, linking the breath with the movement. So inhaling and exhaling with each motion. And when you're ready, coming to a neutral spine, and we're actually going to come and face the long side of our mat, keeping our knees underneath our hips. And we're gonna stand on our knees here. And we're gonna extend our right leg long. So you'll be on the edge of your right foot. You can place your right hand on your right thigh. And on an inhale, we're gonna lift the left hand up to the sky and reach across, lifting your gaze to look up at your hand as we come into stargazer pose. So this past Saturday was our summer solstice. So this is one of the poses that's really good to do at the beginning of summer as we begin to look forward to the next couple of warm months, no matter where you are. Feeling that side stretch in your body should feel really good. And taking a couple breaths here. And on exhale, dropping your left hand down to the mat, reaching your right hand over, coming into our gate pose. And breathing here. And you'll feel a nice stretch on the right side. Slowly returning back to center, coming onto your knees again. We're gonna extend the left leg long. And on inhale, reach your right arm over, keeping your left hand on your upper left thigh and looking up, feeling that stretch right here on the right side of the body. And this feels so good on your obliques. And then placing your right hand on the mat, lifting your left arm across to feel that stretch on the left side. And slowly returning back to center, we'll actually step right into our downward facing dog. So, coming into an upside down V or a capital A shape. You can walk your dog here 1 foot at a time. You can wag your tail, shifting your booty from side to side. Whatever you need today. It's your first down dog of class. So we will be here many times today, so lots to look forward to. And looking between your hands, walking your feet to meet your hands at the top of the mat. Keeping your feet hip width apart, we're gonna grab each elbow with each hand and come into our ragdoll position. So letting your head hang here, releasing any tension in the neck and the spine. You can rock side to side, feeling a nice stretch. And if you want to stretch in your hamstrings, you can bend one knee and get the other straight, and then alternate to equal out the stretch. And releasing your hands down to the mat, using your peace fingers to grab your big toe, bending into your knees, reaching your chest down to your knees. And releasing your head. Releasing your hands and rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Your head the last to come up at the top of the mat. From here, we'll come into a mountain pose. So lifting your head high, palms facing forward. And take a few breaths here before you start our practice and think about what you want out of your practice today, whether you just want to stretch your body or whether you want to dedicate your practice to someone today. And from here, we'll go into our modified Sun A salutation. So on an inhale, lifting your hands up to the sky, palms facing inward. Exhale, hinging the hips and folding forward. Feeling that nice stretch. On an inhale, lift up halfway, looking forward, flat back. And on an exhale, stepping back into a high plank. From here, you should feel your core engaged in this high plank. So take a few breaths here. And bringing your knees to the mat, untucking your toes, and release back down to a belly shavasana. So releasing your hands by your side, bringing your forehead to the mat. Take a few breaths. And from here, bring your forearms in front of you with your elbows underneath your shoulders. On an inhale, we're opening up the chest into a Sphinx pose. So your gaze should be forward. You should feel your chest opening and a gentle back bend here. And your fingertips should still be engaged on the mat. And from here, coming to a tabletop or coming straight to down dog, however you need to get there today. And again, gazing between your hands and bringing your feet to meet your hands at the top of the mat. Bring your feet together. On an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, release and fold forward. On an inhale, root to rise, palms up to the sky. And exhale, bring your hands to heart and center. And we'll do that a few more times. On an inhale, bring your hands up to the sky. Exhale, hinging at the hips, folding forward. On an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, step back into your high plank. On an inhale, shift forward about an inch. On an exhale, come down to your chaturanga, 90-degree arms. On an inhale, upward facing dog. And on an exhale, coming to downward facing dog. And as always, you can skip the vinyasa, which is that little section of chaturanga, up dog, down dog, and just meet us here in down dog at any time. Walking your feet to meet your hands at the top of the mat. On an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, release and fold forward. Inhale, root to rise, palms to the sky. Inhale, bring the hands to heart and center. And we'll do one more Sun A salutation. On an inhale, hands up to the sky, palms inward. Exhale, hinging at the hips, folding forward. On an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, stepping back to your high plank. So again, you can go straight to downward dog from here, or you can come down to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and then exhale, downward facing dog. Walking your feet to meet your hands at the top of the mat. On an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, release, fold forward. Inhale, root to rise, palms to the sky. And exhale, hands to heart and center. So your body should be starting to feel warm, and from here we'll move into our Sun B salutations. So on an inhale, reaching your arms, sitting back in your invisible chair. This is a great quad burner. So bring your hands to heart and center, hooking your left elbow on your right knee and taking a twist. Trying to bring your hands to your heart. Take a few breaths here in this position. Maybe you can sit a little bit lower in your chair. On an exhale, coming back to center, hands to the sky by your ears, and bringing them back to heart and center, hooking your right elbow on your left knee and taking a twist here. Again, trying to bring your hands to heart and center, not sinking into your right elbow, but lifting up. Inhale, releasing back to chair. Maybe you can sink a little bit lower. And exhale, straighten your legs, release, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, stepping back to that high plank. Coming in for your chaturanga, upward facing dog on an inhale. And exhale, downward facing dog. On an inhale, lifting your right leg to the sky. Kick your right leg open to open the hip so your foot's facing the left side and your hips open to the right side of the mat. Give your ankle a few ankle rolls here. And when you're done going both ways, straightening out the leg, bring your hips back to neutral into three-legged dog and stepping your right foot outside of your right hand. Maybe you walk it out a little bit further, release the back leg, untuck the toes, and perhaps you stay here in our gecko pose with your hands underneath your shoulders. If you want something a little bit deeper and it's available to you, coming down to your forearms. And we'll be here for a few breaths. So wherever you are today, keeping your gaze forward, feeling that stretch in your psoas. Continuing to breathe. And tucking your back toes, stepping back for a vinyasa. Or coming straight to downward dog, because sometimes our elbows are tired. On an inhale, lifting your left leg to the sky. And we're gonna open that left hip. So kicking your left leg open. So your left foot's facing the right side of the mat, your knees open to the left side. And give your ankle maybe a few twirls here. Maybe circle it the other direction to warm up the hip. Straightening your leg and coming back to three-legged dog. On an exhale, stepping your left foot outside your left hand. And maybe you walk it out a little bit further to get a deeper stretch. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Again, from here, you can come down to your forearms if you did on the other side, or just stay here. And this is a great stretch just to open up the hips. We do sit down a lot all day, and I know a lot of us do, just even if you're not working in like a desk environment, sometimes we just like to sit down and Netflix and chill. So this is a good hip opener for that. And on exhale, stepping back to your high plank, coming in for your vinyasa, or you can step back for your downward facing dog. Looking between your hands, bring your feet to meet your hands. Feet together. On an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, release and fold forward. On an inhale, lifting your hands up, sitting back into your invisible chair. And exhale, bring your hands back to heart and center. Take a few breaths. Your body should be warming up. On an inhale, we're actually going to come into our tippy toes here and sweep our hands back. Bring your chest forward to come into our drinking bird pose. So you should be on the tips of your toes, your chest forward, your arms straight back behind you. And you should still be bent in like that chair position, but it's a little bit different. From here, inhaling, dropping your feet, inhaling back up to chair. Come back to our traditional chair pose. And on exhale, opening your right arm long, looking back to your right arm here as we airplane our arms. Inhaling back to center. Opening to the left side, left arm long, reaching back. Exhale, back to center. And releasing your hands down on the mat, straightening your legs, folding forward, Vinyasa. On an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. On an exhale, stepping back for your vinyasa, or opting to meet us in downward facing dog, wherever you are today. On an inhale, lifting your right leg to the sky. On an exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Now bring your right knee to your right elbow. Inhale, leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee to left elbow, crossing the body. Inhale, three-legged dog. And then exhale, planting the foot between the hands, dropping the back foot, opening up into warrior one. So lifting your hands up to the sky, you've got that bend in your front leg, your back leg straight, your hips are square and facing forward. On an exhale, cactus the arms to open the chest. Inhale, reaching for the sky. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, reaching up. On an exhale, bring them back down the mat, stepping back for another vinyasa. On an inhale, lifting the left foot to the sky. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, left foot to the sky, back to three-legged dog. Inhale, left knee to left elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Left knee to right elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. And exhale, plant the foot between the hands, dropping your back foot, lifting up into warrior one. Again, checking your form here. Hands by your ears, or arms by your ears, not hands. And we're going to exhale and cactus the arms to open the chest. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, reach up. Bring the hands back down to the mat, stepping back for another vinyasa, or meeting us in downward dog. Walking your feet to meet your hands. On an inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, release, fold forward. Inhale, sitting back into your chair. Exhale, straighten the legs, release back to heart and center. On an inhale, sitting back into your chair. Exhale, release, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, stepping back into your high plank and coming for your vinyasa. So you can always opt to meet in downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. On an inhale, looking between your hands, lift the leg to three-legged dog, the right leg. Exhale, stepping the foot between the hands, opening up into warrior two with your right leg forward. So your right hand is forward, left leg is towards the back of the mat, left arm towards the back of the mat. Checking your form here. So your gaze should be over your middle finger, front leg is bent. Your back foot should be about 85 degrees from the back of the mat. On an inhale, flip the right palm up to the sky. And exhale, release it up, bringing your gaze up to look at your palm as you reverse your warrior. Exhale, coming back to warrior two. Placing your right forearm on your right knee, sweeping your left arm long to come into extended side angle. So you've got one diagonal line from your fingertips on your left side all the way to your toes, feeling that nice side body stretch again. On an exhale, releasing back into warrior two. Then we're gonna straighten the front leg here, keeping it where the placement where it is, and shifting the back foot about 12 inches in, keeping both legs straight. On an inhale, we're gonna shift forward, keeping a warrior two arms. And exhale, tipping your right hand to your right shin, opening up the chest to the left side, reaching your left arm long to the sky as we come into triangle pose. You can lift your gaze to look up at your left hand. And you can opt to stay here or come back into warrior two. Otherwise, our next pose will be half moon. So bending into your right knee, you can place your left hand on your hip, bend into your right knee, place your right hand about 12 inches in front of your foot, lift your back left leg off the mat, toes open to the side, keeping your hand on your hip here, or you can reach your left arm up to the sky as we come into half moon. Dropping the back foot, coming back into warrior two. On an exhale, cartwheeling the hands back down on the mat, stepping back for another vinyasa. Or meeting up and down dog. A few breaths here. On an inhale, lifting your left leg to the sky. On an exhale, stepping your left foot between your hands, dropping your back foot, and opening up into warrior two with your left arm forward. So again, checking your form, making sure you're looking over that middle finger, keeping your arms straight. Your back foot should be 85 degrees from the back of the mat, bend in your left leg. On an inhale, flipping the left palm to the sky, and exhale as you reach up to reverse your warrior, placing your right hand on your upper right thigh. On an exhale, coming back into warrior two. Placing your left forearm on your left knee, moving your right arm across to come into extended side angle on the right side. So again, making sure you're in that one long line. So you should feel, again, feel that nice side body stretch. On an exhale, coming back into warrior two. Straightening your left leg, we're going to shift the back foot forward about 12 inches, keeping your arms in that same position. So both legs are straight. On an inhale, we're going to shift forward, shift just the top half forward. Exhale, tipping your left hand to your left shin to open up in a triangle pose. So your right hand is reaching high for the ceiling, your left hand on your shin. And trying to lift out, not folding into your, you don't want to fall into your thighs here. Lifting up. Your chest should be open. And you can opt to stay here, or come back into warrior two, or if you'd like to try a balanced pose, we're going to bend into your left knee, place your left hand in front of your left foot about 12 inches, lift off your right leg. Your right leg is now floating and opening up to the left side. So if it's easier for you, you come up with your hands on your hips as you did on the other side and then reach up, wherever you're at today. On an exhale, dropping back into warrior two. Few breaths. And cartwheeling the hands back down to the mat, stepping back for another vinyasa. And we'll take a few breaths in downward dog. So if you're feeling it today, you might be a bit tired, you can always drop down to a child's pose. And we'll be here for about 5 breaths. And if you're in child's pose, coming back to downward facing dog. And from here, walking your feet to meet your hands and slowly rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Move your head the last to come up. From here, we'll move into our crescent pose, standing crescent. So reaching your hands up to the sky. You'll grab your right wrist with your left hand, keeping your feet together, and gently shift over to the left side, feeling another side body stretch here on your right side of your body. Exhale, releasing back to center, and take your left hand over your right wrist and bend on over to the right to feel that nice stretch. And exhale, release. Slowly releasing your hands back down to your side. From here, we're gonna move into our tree pose. So inhale, lift your right leg up so your knee is about close to hip height. And opening it up to the side, we're gonna take the sole of the foot and place it anywhere on your left leg except for your knee. So you can place it on your calf, you can place it on your thigh, anywhere but your knee. You can bring your hands to heart and center here, lifting your gaze, so trying to keep your gaze forward. Try not to sink into your left hip too much because as a tree, you want to maintain balance. And just take a few breaths here. And perhaps your tree has a lot of leaves and maybe wants to flow in the wind. So as you exhale, reaching your hands up to the sky if you want. And if you like to, you can also try lifting your gaze. Sometimes, some days we're not balanced and some days we are. Some trees wobble, but that's kind of how it goes with the wind. Exhale, bring your hands back to heart and center. Bring your knee back to center. Kick out your foot and release. And give your feet a little back and forth, a little shift back and forth just to before you go on the other side. So on an inhale, lifting your left leg up, knee to hip height, opening it up to the left side, and taking your left hand to grab your left foot and place it anywhere on your right knee, just not on your right leg, just not your knee. And when you're ready, bring your hands to heart and center. And maybe you lift your gaze a little bit higher, challenge yourself, challenge your balance. Perhaps you grow your branches of your tree, lifting your arms up to the sky. It's okay if you sway in the wind. Just inhaling and exhaling, focusing on your breath. Try to find one point that maybe you can focus on. And bring your hands back to heart and center. Bring your knee back to center, kicking it out, and walking your feet out. And from here, we'll take our feet wide to the length of the mat. And placing your hands on your hips, we're gonna come and keeping your toes forward. We're gonna hinge forward, coming to a wide leg forward fold. So reaching your head down. You can release your hands to the floor if it's available. Placing your hands underneath your shoulders. Releasing your head. Taking a few breaths here. Maybe you walk your arms out a little bit longer in front of you. Come and extend the width of your fold, perhaps, to come into a wide-legged down dog. So you can reach your arms long, bringing your head between your arms, and your toes are still forward. Taking a few breaths here. Slowly walking your hands back underneath your shoulders. We'll take the left hand to the right foot and open up your right arm to the sky to take a twist. Exhale, releasing your hands back to center. And now taking your right hand to your left foot, opening up the left arm to the sky to take a twist. Exhale, releasing back to center. From here, slowly walking your hands up. On an inhale, lift up halfway. And slowly rolling on up so you don't get dizzy. From here, we'll take our toes out and reach our arms up to the sky to come into a 5-pointed star pose. So your toes are turned out to the edges of the mat. They're still wide and your arms are reaching long. On an exhale, we're gonna squat down, cactusing your arms. This is our horse or goddess pose. I don't know why it has two names, but they're both. And perhaps you challenge yourself today and come onto your toes here. Or you can stay flat. No one's judging. Exhale, dropping your feet if you took them up, and exhaling back up to your star pose. Taking a few breaths, reaching long, reaching your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, cactusing the arms, sitting back into the horse or goddess pose. And perhaps you lift on the balls of the feet again to challenge yourself and your balance. Exhale, dropping the feet. Perhaps you sit a little bit deeper this time. Exhale, releasing your arms back up. And slowly folding forward one last time into a wide-legged forward fold with your feet turned out. Just feeling that stretch. And slowly rolling on up. From here, we're gonna come straight back into a downward facing dog. And on an inhale, we'll lift the right leg to the sky. And exhale, bring your right knee to your right wrist, untucking the back foot as we come into our pigeon pose. So here in pigeon, couple of options. Keep your hands underneath your shoulders, keeping your chest open, looking forward. If you want a little bit of deeper stretch, coming down to your forearms. And if you want something a little bit deeper to challenge yourself, bring your third eye to the mat and releasing down into a sleepy pigeon, reaching your hands long. Wherever you are today, no matter where you choose to be, we are going to be here for a few minutes. So making sure wherever you are, you're comfortable. The stretch is not painful, never good, but it's a good stretch where you can feel it, but it's not going to cause you any pain. So pigeon's a really, really, really good hip opener. So you should feel this in your psoas and your hip. And it's so good because a lot of times, as I mentioned earlier, we're sitting down, we're not really getting a chance to really stretch our bodies. We're in the same position. And if you're a runner or you do some other type of athletic activities, sometimes it's, we're not stretching ourselves all the time. Maybe you can sink down a little deeper. No matter where you are, just focusing on that breath. So coming back to your inhales and exhales, trying to get them equal and relax into this pose. So one of the reasons breathing is so important in yoga, and it's called pranayama, is because it helps us stretch. So if you hold your breath, you're not going to get an effective stretch. But if you focus on your breathing, you'll feel the stretch and it'll feel really good. And no matter where you are, maybe bring your hands back underneath your shoulders, lengthening the spine, opening the chest. And tucking the back toes, stepping back into a downward facing dog. And you might feel good to walk it out here before we go onto the other side. So when you're ready, on an inhale, lift the left foot to the sky. On an exhale, bring your left knee to your left wrist, untucking the back toes. Again, keeping your hands underneath your shoulders and staying here. Maybe you come down to your forearms, or maybe you fold forward into a sleepy pigeon. This side might be a little bit tougher, or it might be easier. So no matter where you are today, just making sure it's good for you and your body. Again, focusing on your breath here, wherever you are today, inhaling and exhaling, trying to keep those the same at the same count. Perhaps you reach, maybe you're in your forearms and you can reach down a little bit longer, bring your forehead to the mat for a little bit of a challenge maybe, wherever you are today. Breathing here. No matter where you are, bring your hands back underneath your shoulders, lifting the chest, and tucking your back toes, stepping back into your downward dog. It might feel good to wiggle it out here since we were in there for a couple minutes. And when you're ready, bring your feet in front of you, sitting down on the mat, feet in front, and bring your knees to your chest here, your knees up to the sky. We're gonna sit back on our sit bones, bring your knees to tabletop. From here, we're gonna go into our boat position, so you can stay here if you're not comfortable and hold the back of your thighs. If you're feeling good with your shins tabletop to the mat, you can release your hands and sit back maybe a little bit, keeping your arms long. And this is a great core strengthener too. Perhaps you reach your right foot down to the mat. On an exhale, release it back. Left foot down to the mat. Exhale, release it back up. Both feet down to the mat. Exhale, bring them back to tabletop. And we'll move into a low boat. So lengthening your legs long. Bring your hands above your head, lengthening long. And exhale, coming back into your low boat. You can bring your hands behind your thighs again. And we'll do that one more time, coming into a low boat. So reaching long, keeping your arms and legs lifted off the floor. And exhale, bring your knees back into your chest. From here, planting your feet on the floor, because I won't make you do that again. Maybe shifting your glutes a little bit closer to your feet. Lying back down on the mat. So placing your hands by your sides, you want to bring your heels as close as you can, keeping them hip width apart. We'll take a few bridges from here. So you can also take a restorative bridge, which I'll walk you through if that's an option. So on an inhale, lifting your booty up to the sky. You should be able to interlace your fingers underneath your booty and shift your shoulders underneath. Try to tuck your shoulders in. And taking a few breaths here. And exhale, releasing your hands, releasing your glutes back down on the mat. You can windshield wipe your legs side to side. And coming back to that same position, so bringing your feet as close as you can to your hands while you reach them long, feet hip width apart. We can inhale, lifting the glutes up to the sky, interlacing the fingers underneath, and trying to tuck the shoulders up as you lift your hips high. Breathing here. This is working your glutes and your quads. And on exhale, releasing everything. Again, you can windshield wipe your legs side to side. And we'll take one more of these with the option for restorative bridge. So if you have a block, you can actually place it under, you can do the same motion, but instead place the block underneath your sacrum. So right above, right where your booty meets your back, essentially. So placing it there. Otherwise, you could just take a regular bridge. So again, bring your feet as close as possible to your hands. On an inhale, lifting up your hips to the sky, interlacing your fingers underneath, and try to tuck those shoulders in underneath your back. And breathing here. And exhale, release. Releasing back out on the mat. Remove the block if you have one. From here, placing your feet hip at the edges of the mat and knocking your knees together. And from here, giving yourself a hug. And again, you might want to shift side to side. We'll move into a supine twist. So bring your knees to the right side of your body. Bring your hands to a capital T position or cactus. Your gaze can go to the left side or the right, whichever suits you today and whatever feels good. And just breathing here. And if your shoulders for some reason are not touching the ground, both your shoulders should be on the mat here. You might want to grab a pillow or a block just to put under there so they can touch the mat. Breathing here, feeling just your body relax from all the work we just did. Returning your gaze back to center, hugging your knees back into your chest, and we'll take a twist to the left. So bring your knees over to the left side, cactusing the arm, or bring them to a capital T. Again, same thing. If your shoulders aren't touching the mat, using a block or a pillow. Bringing your gaze, however you did it on the other side. If you move the same direction as your legs for your gaze, you could do that again here. And breathing into the stretch. Now you brought your head into this pose, returning it back to center. Bring your knees back into your chest. From here, if you like, you could take a waterfall, a happy baby. So happy baby, just grabbing the soles of your feet with your hands, just like a little baby. Or if you like, you could take a waterfall, which is bringing your feet up high to the sky. And you can hold the back of your legs if you need to, just to help the blood drain back into your body. Especially if you're standing a lot, this is a really good pose. Breathing here. And when you're ready, coming to a final pose of Shavasana. So do whatever you need to do before you get here. When you get to Shavasana, relaxing your feet, you could open your feet to the mat, width of the mat, opening your palms up to the sky, closing your eyes, and focusing on your breath as you enter our final and yet most important pose of class, Shavasana, or corpse pose. So as you enter your Shavasana, inhaling and exhaling through the nose, keeping your breath even, releasing any fears, any worries, any stress, any tensions of your day, and just making this time just for you. And slowly starting to feel the movement back in your toes, touching each finger with your thumb. Bring the feeling back into your body. And taking a good morning wake up stretch. Reaching your arms above your head, stretching your body along like you're waking up in the morning. And when you're ready, using your right arm as a pillow, rolling to a fetal position on the right side. And when you're ready, keeping your eyes closed, coming to a seated position, bring your hands to heart and center. And I wanted to say thank you for sharing your practice with me today. And I wanted to leave you with a quote, especially in honor of our summer solstice. So may the long-time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and pure light within you guide your way on. Thanks for sharing your practice with me, and hopefully if you need some extra Shavasana, treat yourself tonight, and namaste.